Hello, folks. This is Amos. We is now in the Grand Central Station. And the reason we are down here is to see Sapphire's mama off to Chicago to visit her other daughter, Fluorescent.
All right, Samson, put it down.
George, have you figured out when Mama gets to Chicago?
Well, with the Eastern Standard Time and the eastbound reading up and westbound reading down and light and dark type, the only way I figure that if your train is on schedule, you are due in Chicago 10 minutes ago.
No wonder. You was looking at the wrong train. It says here, plain as day, New York to Chicago. Well, what do you know about this, Sapphire?
What, Mama?
It says here, I got a half-hour stopover in Los Angeles.
Oh, Mama.
The 20th Century Limited to Chicago, now boarding on track 6.
Uh-oh, that's my train. I better check my bags to see if they're all right.
Tell her you're going to miss her.
Gonna miss you, Mama.
Can't you be more sincere?
I don't want to overdo the thing. She might not leave.
Everything's all right. I guess I better get on my train.
George, you're not going to stand there and let Mama lug those heavy suitcases to the train.
Why, certainly not. Put them down, Mama. And I'll scout around, see can I find you a hand truck. Sapphire, strange as it seems, I'm going to miss your Mama around here.
Well, George, I never expected to hear you say anything like that.
Well, I can't explain it. It's like a prize fighter without a spawn partner. Afraid I might go stale.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, George. You're going to miss Mama for more than one reason. I don't know if you've forgotten it or not, but Mama was paying us $15 a week while she was here.
Holy mackerel, that is right. I forgot all about that.
And frankly, George, we needed that money for the rent. I guess the only solution is for us to think about taking a boarder in Mama's room.
Now, wait a minute here. That's out. There ain't no stranger going to invade the sanctity of my home.
Well, that's all very well, George, but if we don't take in a boarder, the only other alternative is for you to go to work.
All right, then. I'll go to work.
You will?
I'll go to work and find a boarder so fast it'll make your head swim. And I tell you, you wouldn't only just be a boarder in our house, you'd be more like a son.
Well, what about Sapphire?
The same way, Andy. Ever since we was married, Sapphire always said she liked to hear the pitter-patter of feet around the house. And with them feet of yours, Andy, she will really hear 'em.
Well, this thing is beginning to sound all right to me, Kingfish.
Yeah, Andy, and I'm only going to charge you $15 a week.
$15 a week, huh?
Yeah, and that includes 3 meals of Sapphire's cooking.
Does I get any reduction for that?
Oh, no, Andy. She a great cook, and on top of everything else, don't overlook the big advantage you're going to have of staying in our place.
Oh, what you mean?
Well, Andy, you've been living alone, and if you move in with us, me and Sapphire would love and cherish you. My home would be your home.
Oh, y'all is going to love and cherish me for $15 a week, huh? Yeah, that sounds good, all right.
And, Andy, I'll guarantee you that Sapphire will treat you just the same as she treats me.
The deal's off.
Oh, Andy, she's going to treat you good, and you'll have somebody that really care about you.
Yeah, well, maybe it's worth a try, Kingfish.
Certainly, Andy. Come on, I'll go by your place with you and help you pack. And from now on, you're going to have someone to love and cherish you. Well, Andy, I guess that's about everything. You wait here, and I'll go and see Sapphire. Got the room in shape.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sapphire?
Yes, George?
Well, I see you're cleaning out the spare room there, honey.
That's right, George.
And I got a surprise for you. I got a boarder out there waiting to take the room. He's gonna pay $15 a week.
Good heavens, George. I had no idea you was going to get anybody so fast, and I've already rented the room an hour ago.
You rented the room?
Yes, I answered an ad in the paper. The man came up, looked at the room, and took it. He's already paid me the $15, and I gave him a long lease.
And there I got Andy waiting out there to take the room. Now, what is I going to tell him?
Well, George, I'm just as sorry as I can be, but there's nothing I can do. Well, I got to get back in here and get this room straightened up before the man gets here to get it.
Well, if it ain't my old pal Andy Brown.
What was that, Kingfish?
What is you doing in this neck of the woods?
What is I doing in this neck of the woods? You was the one that done necked me up here.
Now, wait a minute, son. I don't get you. You ain't by any chance supping with the walking amnesia, is you?
Look, Kingfish, we done made a deal that you was gonna love and cherish me for $15 a week, remember?
Yeah, I think I do remember discussing something like that, would you?
You call this discussion?
Well, Andy, I'll turn it over in my mind, and I'll talk to you about it in a week or two. Don't call me. I'll call you. Well, what is it now?
All right, Kingfish, out with it.
Eat up on the door there, Andy. You're crushing my esophagus.
All right. Start talking.
Andy, I'm going to tell you the truth. Sapphire done rented the room to somebody else, and you is out of luck.
Oh, no, I ain't, Kingfish. You is out of luck. You is going to love and cherish me like you said. I'm going to break every bone in your body. Now, step aside, Kingfish. I'm going to move into your place, and I'd like to see anything that's going to stop me. I'd like to see anything that's going to stop me. Well, I done seen it.
Sapphire, our boarder's awful quiet. Is he in his room?
Yes, George. He arrived while you were helping Andy move back to his apartment. You'll meet him at supper.
What he doing, unpacking?
I don't know, George. He did tell me he always likes to spend an hour before supper working on his hobby.
Oh, he got a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Probably collect stamps or something. Philanthropist. Well, I tell you, Sapphire, I'm glad that we got him here instead of Andy.
Why, George?
Well, I just got to thinking that Andy with his big feet clomping all over the place had been kind of noisy. Then he had that canary what all time singing. And you know how that stuff bothers me.
Well, yes. But I did hate to see it happen to Andy.
Holy mackerel, what's that and where's it coming from?
George, I was just about to tell you. That's Mr. Benson.
Then we ought to do something for the boy. Sound like he got a bad case of gallbladder or something.
Oh, no, George. That's Mr. Benson's hobby. He's taken up singing.
Red sails in the sunset.
Oh, listen to that there. Sound like he blowed a tonsil or something.
Why, George, I think he sings very well. And Red Sails in the Sunset is my favorite song.
Be it ever so humble.
Well, that's a help. He at least knows another tune.
Red sails.
Holy mackerel, he's back in a sailboat again.
Hi there, Kingfish.
Hi, Amos.
Say, what you doing sitting out here?
Well, Amos, Sapphire done took in a boarder, and he about to drive me out of my mind with his singing. I had to run out of the house. He give me a migratory headache.
Oh, you got a bad voice, huh?
He sing nothing but red sails in the sunset, red sails in the sunset. And I'll tell you, Amos, it's the worst hunk of sailing since Magellan sailed around the world. Well, I don't know. I ain't met him personal. I only know him by the sound of his clinkers. And the worst part of it, Amos, Sapphire thinks it's culture.
Yeah, well, maybe he won't stay with you long, Kingfish.
Well, that's what I'm banking on, Amos. I'll wait until he get a load of Sapphire across the breakfast table.
George!
Yeah, well...
Supper!
Gotta go now, Amos. It's so meantime.
Yeah, I'll see you around.
Supper's on the table, George.
Oh, kind of fancy there.
I'm going to call Mr. Benson. I want you to meet him. Mr. Benson, supper.
Coming.
This is my...
Well. You must be Stevens. Put her there, old boy. Just to be Benson's the name, but my friends call me Breezy. Breezy Benson. So you say supper's ready, huh? Well, it's no more ready than I am.
Pepper, we got to get more money.
Yes, sir. Table sure looks good. Well, let's sit down. You sit over there. I'll sit here next to Mrs. Stevens. Well, roast beef. Just what I love. And the greatest thing in the world for the vocal cords. Well, let's get started. There you are, little lady. And there you are, Stephen. Yeah, this roast beef sure looks good. Oh, looks like I got a couple extra pieces cut on the pork. Well, no matter. You know, I'm sure glad I found this place. It's very comfortable here, just like my own home out past the bread, see? You know, a lot of single men like hotels, but not me. No, I'm the friendly type. Like to have people around me. Pass the potatoes. Yeah, I like to have a lot of people around me all the time. I hate to be alone. Just can't stand being alone. Pass the string beans. Thanks, Stevens, old boy. Say, you seem rather quiet. What's wrong? Well, speak up if you have something to say. Join in the conversation. A man never got any place in life keeping his mouth shut. That's right. Speak up. You know, there's no conversation. You gotta learn to express yourself. That's what you got a mouth and a mind for. Use them.
Well, now, I agree with you on that because I always...
No. Don't overdo it. Don't be a blabbermouth. You know, you gotta type yourself. Yes, sir. Listen and learn. That's my motto. A man that keeps his mouth shut can't put his foot in it.
Boy, what a meal that was. That's the first time ever I see the talking tapeworm in my whole life.
And he certainly is a conversationalist.
Well, I'm glad he went to his room right after the meal. We'll at least have a little peace and quiet around here.
Me.
Holy mackerel. Oh, not that again. No.
Quiet, George. I want to hear this. This is the Toreador song.
Well, is that him or the bull singing? What are we going to do? There go the neighbors. Stop banging on them pipes.
What's going on up there? My cat just jumped out the window.
Oh, Sapphire, this is awful. We got to do something about it. Hello? What? Kill it? We can't kill it. It's a human being. We are doing the best we can. Give us a chance, will you? What you say? I going in there and put a stop to that screeching. I sure hope it's the police.
How do you do?
How do you do?
I'm a friend of Mr. Benson, your new boarder. Is he in?
Is he in? Can't you hear him?
Oh, yes. He asked me to drop up this evening. We are old friends.
Well, come right on in.
Thank you.
The quicker the better. Well, thank goodness for him. At least our eardrums will get a rest here from that singing.
George, you're just making a mountain out of a molehill.
Now I know how a boilermaker feels when he knock off for lunch. Boy, what a beating.
All right, George. Let's not discuss it anymore. It's all over.
Red sails in the
Red sails in the sun.
bank teller check up on my last month's statement. I find an error in the amount of $7,500. Now, according to my record, my present balance should read $43,872. Hoping you'll give this matter your immediate attention, I remain yours very truly, Algonquin J. Calhoun, Esquire.
Calhoun, what's the idea of you making that recording? You know you ain't got no money in the bank.
Oh, I know I ain't Kingfish. But when I played this record back, it sounds so good.
I was in one of the most desperate situations I done ever been in. Sapphire done took in a boarder in our house who thinks he's another Lawrence Tidbit. And his singing is driving me out of my mind. I got to get the guy out of the house.
Well, I don't see what your problem is. Why don't you just throw him out?
I can't do that. Sapphire done signed a long-term lease with the man for a year. Take a look at it.
Well, now, you know, Kingfish, I ain't no bona fide attorney. But I'll look at the thing here. Yeah. Kingfish, I see this type of lease before. And there ain't a thing in there that will allow you to throw the man out. But there's a different approach to this thing. Yeah. Make the man get out of his own accord. And Kingfish, I think I got the angle.
Good. Come in. Well, is everything comfy, Mr. Benson?
Fine and dandy, thanks. Mrs. Stevens went out this evening, didn't she?
Oh, yeah. She has a woman's club every Thursday night. Pardon me. Come on in. The door's open. But what I wanted to call to your attention, Mr. Benson, was that there's nothing in your lease that say you got to occupy this room all alone.
What? What are you talking about?
Mr. Benson, I want you to meet your new roommate. Come right in. And Mr. Brown, I'd like you to meet Mr. Benson.
Hi, Mr. Benson. I think this is going to be delightful for me. Well, I guess I'll put my things away.
Now, look here, Stevens, I'm not going to stand for this. I'm the only one that's going to occupy this room.
Mr. Benson, I within my rights. There's a copy of the lease. Look it over.
But, Stevens, this room isn't big enough for two people, and I refuse to share it with anyone.
I'm sorry, Mr. Benson, but I got no choice. Pardon me.
What the? This is ridiculous.
Now, let's see where to put this. Say, I shot this thing myself over in Brooklyn.
Well, you're wasting your time if you do hang it up, because you're not going to be here very long.
Hey, there's a place right over the bed there. There's a hook and everything already there.
You can't hang that over my head.
Gentlemen, I want you to meet your new roommate.
Stevens, you wouldn't dare.
This way, Mr. Maxson. Gentlemen, this is Sam Maxson.
Welcome, Mr. Matson.
Oh, fellas, how is you? It sure look nice around here, don't it? I think I'm going to like this place.
Stevens, you can't put three people in this little room. I'll report you to the Board of Health.
Mr. Benson, I stand within my constitutional rights as a landlord. Pardon me.
Hey, that's my door.
Oh, okay, fella.
And that's mine.
All right.
I'll have the police in on this before the night's over.
Red sails in the sunset. Biddy-bop, biddy-bop, biddy-bop. Biddy-bop, biddy-bop.
Now, look here, you.
Gentlemen, I want you to meet your new roommate.
Oh, no.
I knew you were taking in the right spirit, and I'm sure you all won't mind a gentleman of the theater for one of your roommates. Come right in, Mr. Calhoun.
Good evening, gentlemen. Come on, Doctor.
check rope there.
Oh, yeah. Take your seat.
Hey, that's something, ain't it?
Come on, take your seat. Take your seat.
That's it, atta girl.
That's mine. Oh, yeah.
And that's mine, brother.
And that's mine. Oh, for heaven's sake, how much can a man spend?
Quiet, Mr. Benson. You're disturbing the other boarders here.
It looks like me and you're going to have to share the third draw.
Fish! Stevens, you can't do this to me.
Say, it's 11:15, and the rule of this boarding house is that everybody got to be in bed by 11 o'clock. So get going. Lights out in a few minutes.
Yeah, so where's the washroom?
Right across the hall there.
Let's get going, fellas.
Here, amuse yourself while I get ready for bed.
Come on, boy.
Now look, Stevens, lease or no lease, there's such a thing as invasion of a man's privacy. Now, when I rented this room from your wife, there was no mention about other people occupying it. Stevens, you and I'll settle this whole thing first thing in the morning. Right now, I'm going to bed. This is my bed, and as far as those other boarders are concerned, you can worry about where they're going to sleep.
Time to hit the hay.
90 Pleasant dreams, everybody.
Well, it was a kind of a dirty trick for the Kingfish to play on the guy. But after all, if his singing was that bad, there wasn't nothing else much he could do.
Yeah, well, Amos, it would have only been a matter of time before the Kingfish would have gone out of his mind.
Yeah, well, tell me, when did the boarder leave?
That seal mistook Benson's big toe for a fish. And he was packed and out of there in 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it's all over with anyway. Say, by the way, is Sapphire going to rent the room to somebody else?
No, the Kingfish made sure that wouldn't happen. As a matter of fact, he sent a telegram for his mom-in-law to come right back. She flew back in this morning.
Oh, boy, that's really something, ain't it? I never thought I'd live to see the day the Kingfish would be asking his mom-in-law to come back.
Well, the Kingfish say after all, with his mom-in-law there, he can rest and relax when he comes home.
Yeah. Well, I guess it just goes to show, Andy, that when it comes to having people around, I guess kinfolks is best after all.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Amos.
What are you doing up here, Mr. Benson?
Stevens, I'd not even talked to you, and I didn't come up here to see you. Your wife asked me up.
My wife?
That's right. It just so happens that my singing wasn't as offensive to her as it was to you.
Well, I don't want to go into that now. All I know is I was allergic to your kind of singing. I can't stand it. And if we never meet again, it'll be all right with me.
Oh, we'll meet again, Mr. Stevens. As a matter of fact, you'll be seeing me once a week. You see, your wife was so impressed with my singing that she told your mother-in-law about it. Now I'm giving vocal lessons to the both of them.
What? Holy mackerel. They done released a bull again.
The Amos'n Andy Show has been presented by Blatz, Milwaukee's finest beer. The Amos'n Andy Show is shown to our armed forces overseas on film.